So second day can't begin much more better than interviewing Mr. Jagdish Patankar himself, the man behind the show rather. So welcome to this interview. Could you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Sadaf, for inviting me to interact with you and through you to the entire, the community of exhibitions, conventions across India and wherever trade fair is watched. I'm sure you have viewers across the globe. So, I represent an organization by the name Active, and we conduct a lot of technology shows. We are the curators of the events in technology space. So we are in IT, biotech, deep tech, nanotechnology. We also do something very interesting in agro technologies, something in public transport by the name Pravas. So good things are happening. We did one very recently in Bangalore. We did a tech show which was a hybrid show, yeah, by the name Bengaluru Tech Summit, which is the largest tech show of the country. So things are coming to normalcy. Looks like. Yeah.
So 2 years of sabbatical, 2 years of pandemic, all things happening indoors. Coming back, restarting this, on this 10th edition of IEIA. What has been the challenge and how did you overcome that? And now that you've collected together, what do you see for the future?
So I mean, these 18 months or 2 years that we are talking about, I think, and I'm sure it is not different for everyone, but for me, it has been life transforming experience. I think I am a different person. I think my organization is different. World is different. In yesterday's session, I mentioned that two things stood out according to me. You know, in during the pandemic and post-pandemic. One is that my faith in our country has immensely increased. And the reason I say this is the way we 1.3 billion population with so many challenges, you know, nobody could believe that India can actually deal with pandemic. And the way we comprehensively dealt with the pandemic, particularly during the first wave, of course, second wave caught us with surprise, and it did cause a lot of problems and challenges for us. But that also we overcame. And today we have entire population vaccinated, government, NGOs, organizations, industry, common people, they all came together with a common resolve to fight. Nobody went hungry. Businesses are coming back to normalcy. Economic growth rate is again coming back. And overall, if you see, despite the challenges and despite things that happened in families and societies, we are all looking forward to the coming year, right? So there is a lot of positivity. So that is one thing. Second thing is what our open seminar stands for. Together we stand, right? That is the theme of this entire seminar. It talks about camaraderie. It talks about working together, coming together. And this is another second important lesson that I learned, that we are in the interdependent world. We are in the interdependent society. I'm nobody unless I understand what you are. And unless you recognize that and I recognize you and we work together, we cooperate with each other, we don't consider ourselves competitors, we don't consider ourselves, hey, you are in that and I am in this and we are not connected. No, we are in a connected world and there are paths we are going to cross. And it's very important that I respect what you do, you respect what I do, and we together collaborate and do things. Camaraderie, collaboration, coming together, standing together is the biggest lesson that pandemic has taught us, and it is helping our industry to come together, collaborate, and work together to ensure that overall progress of this industry in India happens, and we also align ourselves to the vision of our government, wherein if government is looking at the leadership, $5 trillion economy, $10 trillion economy, it's not going to happen without us. And it is not going to happen unless you and me decide to work together. So that is another second important lesson that I got during these 2 years of pandemic.
Right, but there's a new normal and there's a new protocol that everybody is following. So if you're coming from the exhibition industry, what is the new normal and what protocols should be followed and should not be missed in order to be safeguarded? Of course, it's a very unpredictable world today. According to you, what protocols should be followed to be safe?
So one good thing is Government of India has come out with a very clear guidelines as to particularly public events, how to conduct public events, how to follow all the protocols and norms which have to be followed, which start with the basic norms like, but fundamentally very strong, like wearing mask, which I'm not wearing right now, but wearing mask, sanitization, you have to wash your hands at regular intervals, social distancing, and so on and so forth. So these are the norms that we all have to strictly follow. But apart from that, I feel there is this inherent understanding of that we are in a world where challenge is yet not over, and that we have to deal with this challenge. We have to make sure that vaccination happens. We have to make sure that everybody is encouraged to get vaccinated. If in certain public places RT-PCR test is required to be done, we should do that RT-PCR test, and so on and so forth. So with this awareness and acceptance, if we move forward, I think things should be fine. One important difference that we are trying to bring it out to the attention of all the stakeholders, that ours is a very organized industry to that extent. Though it's public event, it's a B2B event where we have defined audience, we have defined exhibitors. So we can actually control everything far better. And that is why it is very different from the other public events that we see or other exhibitions in a way. So B2B is a very different space. B2B has a very different objective. And B2B is very important to our economy to restart the economy. And that is why following these protocols on one side, at the same time remaining positive in terms of your attitude towards the event, conducting the events, building confidence in the industry about the events is also very important.
As they say, India is going to be the next exhibition hub of the world. What are the factors that play as catalyst according to you?
So ecosystem is the most important thing. Only, as I said, it's camaraderie. Camaraderie ecosystem is all about that. It's all about being everything coming together in the right mix, in the right way. So if you look at the four key factors in any exhibition industry, one is, of course, great venues, great infrastructure. Second is the pillars of this, or sutradhars, as you can call them, is the event organizers or exhibition organizers. The third one is the stand designers and builders, because they are the ones who create that entire ambience, in the event. And the fourth is multiple service providers which are involved. So these are the four key streams. The biggest challenge that we need to overcome is skilling. We need huge human resource which is skilled, semi-skilled. Also, like there are different councils, but probably we need to align with those councils. We need to make sure that we have enough workforce, and we have to also do a lot of upskilling. So if we focus on skilling and upskilling in the exhibition industry and events industry, I think that is another very, very critical factor that will play a dominant role in assuming that leadership. And by the way, IEIA has taken a very important step. Already IEIA task force has been formed. Under the task force, we have had series of meetings, and moving forward in this year, in the coming year, 2022, I'm sure we will roll out a lot of skilling programs.
That's wonderful. I'm seeing a very bright future, and congratulations and all the very best, and thank you so much for talking.
Thank you, Sadaf, and all the best to Trade Fair TV. Keep doing the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.